What's up? Are we on or what? How y'all doing? It's Joe the Body, celebrity fitness trainer, physique specialist, showing you my top fitness exercise to help you lose weight around the midsection. So today's workout is going to be abs, and more abs. You ready? Okay, so with these ab workout, I'm giving you the best exercise you could do for your upper abs, your lower abs, the waist, and the lower back. Now, I just did part 1 to the video, but I got interrupted, so I didn't get to finish the video. So we're going to remake the whole entire video all over again. So the number 1 exercise for the abs is to build your foundation. And the way you build your foundation is you got to work the upper and lower abs doing the plank. Why the plank? A lot of y'all may have heard of the plank or maybe have done it. Or maybe some of y'all doing it wrong, because I get a lot of clients, they come for me for the first time. When they come, they be like, hey, I'm doing the plank, but I only feel my arms. They don't feel the stomach. Got a lot of stuff in my pocket, taking all this stuff out. So how do you feel the stomach? So I'll show you what a plank is first, and then I'll show you what you may or may not be doing wrong on how to effectively engage the muscles. Because once you get this one movement right, all the other ab movements become easy or easier. So the planks, when I have a client, the way I do my assessment is like this. Tell them keep their arms out. So they're facing me. Pretend you're the client, you're right in front of me. And I'll tell you, go like that. Yeah, wrist, elbow, shoulder in alignment. Keep your arms straight. Now keep your belly tight to your spine like someone's gonna punch you in your stomach. Keep tight. Keep it tight. I'm gonna punch you. Keep tight. Now that is tight. It's flex. You pull it in. So right now, my abs are relaxed. See? It's out. Suck it in. Keep it in. Suck it in. Tuck it in. Keep it in. Now that it's tucked in, breathe. You don't want to, and you can't breathe. You want to keep a breathe, okay? Inhale through your nose. Fill up your diaphragm. Fill up your chest. Blow out, okay? But keep your abs tight the whole time. Okay, now that it's tight, keep your arms straight. I'm going to push you, but don't let me push you, okay? I'm going to push your hands down. You fight me up. Now, for those of you at home, you got to have a partner doing this to you, okay? So you want to resist them. So for example, you have your partner right in front of you. You have your arms out. You're going to have your partner push your hands down. So as they're pushing you down, don't let them push you. You want to fight them. They're going to resist. So when they're pushing you, they're going to stay pushing. I guess some people, they do this. They push like one time. No. You want to push as they're pushing here. You're fighting it. And as you're doing that, you're going to feel the intra muscles of the core tightening and flexing. And you should be fidgeting. If you're fidgeting, that means it's working. Okay? So you're going to feel a lot of abs. Now, if your abs are not tight and you're letting them hang out like this, you're letting them hang out, and you're letting them push you down, you're not really resisting, you're not going to feel your abs. You're just going to feel your arms. So here's how the plank looks. And I'm going to do it the first variation where I'm not flexing my abs. I'm just going to feel all arms because I'm not doing that drawing in maneuver. That drawing in maneuver is called belly tight to your spine, okay? Not that, this, okay? Tuck it in. So elbows, stack your bones with the bones. You want your elbow underneath your shoulder. So the elbow bone and your shoulder bone are stacked when you are doing the plank. Like this. Elbow in line with the shoulder. Kick it out. I'll demonstrate from here. Stack your bones. I don't want your elbows too far away from your body. Keep your elbow underneath your shoulders. Chest tall. That's one variation of doing it, okay? You flex your core, stack your bones, you keep your feet together, to make harder. If you want to make easier, you stack your feet hips width apart. It's safer on your spine. But to my super athletes or those that have a strong stomach already, you want to advance it, you could do feet together. If you find both those movements too challenging, you could do a modified version of it, and yes, it's still effective as long as you flex your abs. I like doing this variation when I'm pre-exhausted. So I'll do the hard planks like the one I just showed you, and then I'll do it on my thigh. So watch me. You want to crisscross your ankle. You want to load your body weight down to the ground, and the weight, the overload should be like right above the knee. You want to overload your thigh right above, not on the bone, on the muscle of the thigh, never the bone. That's gonna hurt. So watch me. So you're gonna be here. Load my body weight down on the thigh, elbows down to the ground, crisscross ankle, hold here. Now keep your belly tight. You wanna hold 30 seconds. Over here. On the thigh, right there. Make sure your knee is stacked underneath your hips. You don't want to do this. That's wrong. Or you don't want to do it too far apart. But you want to do it where your knee, you're loading your body weight right above the knee on the thigh. And keep your belly tight. So that's all it is. It's a static hold, also known as an isometric hold, aka also known as like a peak contraction. You flex. You ever do peak contractions with biceps? You just flex, you tense the muscle. So all you're doing is tensing the muscle. You're flexing, you're holding, you're squeezing, but make sure you're breathing. So that is called the isometric hold. There's no movement at any of the joints of the hips or the knee or the ankle. You're just stabilizing your body weight, holding it in place, freezing it there. Isometric hold, okay? So if you're here, let me see you do an isometric plank with peak contraction. You're just flexing the abs, okay? Stabilizing yourself, okay? So, another thing I must say about the plank is that no spaghetti back. That's when you're sagging your hips. And then the lower back is like, okay? And then another thing is, don't keep your hips too high and don't keep your hips too low. If you got it too low, then that's a freaking spaghetti back, okay? It's no, your base gotta be strong. So here's a spaghetti back. I'm gonna do it on purpose. This is a no-no. This is what you don't do. Okay, that's fucking spaghetti back. That's what the fuck you don't do. Excuse my French, but I gotta say it like that. This way it gets in here, you know what I mean? And that sometimes you learn better like that, you know? It has to be emotionalized. And this way it gets stuck, you know? Okay, so don't fucking do that. Okay, then the next variation is the hip up, right? That's the one you don't really do. Watch me. You're not gonna get a lot of abs like that. I mean, it does have its time and place for it. Okay? Just keep your hips, shoulders in alignment. You don't want to do hip up too high or too low. You want to be right center where your hip is in line with the shoulders. Hips in line with the shoulders. Those planks are going to help build the hardness in the abs. That is your foundation. That is a must. Now, another thing I must stress is if you want to advance it, or you want to put more mind muscle into it, you could bring your bottom rib, see my bottom rib here? You could bring your bottom rib to your hip bone, like that. So you can round your back, your upper back. Round it like a semi-egg back, right? Rounding it. So here's your rib. Crunch. Crunch. And flex. Keep it tight. So as opposed to just doing this, you're exaggerating the movement where you got like that. And now I got more muscle contraction. I'm putting my mind into the muscle. I feel it. I feel it more. Now I'm gonna do my planks. I'm gonna show you how it looks. And you wanna try to hold that contraction for at least 1 minute. If you can't hold it for 1 minute, hold it for 30 seconds. If you can't hold it for 30 seconds, hold it for as long as you can. It could be 10 or 20 seconds. Me personally, if I do 1 minute and my muscles give out within that minute, let's say my muscles give out at 40 seconds. So what I do is simply just rest for 5 to 8 seconds, and I get up, I do it again until the clock expires. That's called a broken rep. So I'll employ a broken rep when I do these sometimes. Because set 1, you do a good set, but set 2, set 3, the muscles are going to fatigue. So it's going to be harder and harder to do the whole minute. To sustain that whole minute, it's tough. So watch me. I'm going to round my back and flex. Bottom rib to the pelvis. Okay, that's how it looks in that angle. Watch this angle here. And here. Also, everything's synergy. What is synergy? All the muscles, when they all work together. I'm putting my mind into my bicep. I'm tensing it. I'm tensing this. I'm clenching my glutes together. I'm squeezing my butt cheeks together. I'm locking out my thigh to get a muscle contraction. So if I'm here, I'm flexing the thigh doing the plank. I'm engaging here. I'm engaging here. So a lot of muscles are flexing all in one. I'm flexing my lat, the wide of my back. So everything's synergy. I'm pinching my inner back muscles. Pretend you have a quarter, nickel, dime in between your shoulder blades. I pinch it. That gets the posture muscles. That helps rebalance posture. So if you have bad posture or rounded back, and you're sitting on a table and you're typing and writing all day, and you're doing this, your shoulders are internally rotated, you're gonna fuck up your musculoskeletal system. You're gonna reshape that thing to the point where it's non-correctable. So make sure you gotta do it now. Retract shoulder blades back. Pinch, okay? There's another video on that. That is the plank. Once you get that down, that is the main foundation. Now here's tip number 2. Hot damn, that was a long video for a plank, huh? But you know what? We're gonna do it right. Tip 2, to have a strong core, you need a strong lower back. So if you do the front, rectus abdominals, you have to work the opposing muscle group, the lower back. I'm a fan of doing the lower back extensions. I don't have the bench here. I'm gonna show you. It's the one where the padding is compressed right below the hip bone. You keep your hands here or here. You bend from the hip and you flex your lumbar spine. You remember that one? So the flexion comes at the top. Watch me from here. If you don't have a back extension, you could do those like how I just did it right now. You saw how I did it? I did it standing up. I keep a soft bend on my knees. I feel that. Just make sure when you get to that top position, you want to put your mind into your lower back. You're going to hold 1 or 2 seconds. Again, doing that isometric hold, aka that peak contraction or that static hold. All means the same thing. Watch me again. Keep a soft bend on the knees. Here. 1. Hold 1 second. 2. Keep your vertebrae taut. 3. 4. Every time I get to that very top position, flex, hold, squeeze, okay? Watch one more time. We're gonna do one full set together. Let's go for 10 reps. Feel that. Gets the small of the back. You're not rounding it. Your vertebrae is nice and tall. Very effective. So you're holding for like half a second at the top. Half a second, 1 second, 10 reps, okay? Do 2 sets of 10 for beginners. Intermediate, you can do 3 sets of 10 to 12. And advanced, you do 3 sets of 15. You could do 12 to 15, okay? I will rest 30 seconds in between. Now, if you want to hurry this thing up, you could do the plank and the back extension in a superset. So you could do 1 minute plank and then the 10 to 15 reps of the back extensions, and you go back, forth, for 3 rounds. Okay? Now, once you got this stabilized, this is your base, right? The small of your back and the rectus abdominals, right? Small of your back, rectus abdominals. Now you want to isolate one cubicle at a time. Here's the cubicles, the little cubicles, right? So I gain a lot of belly percentage, a lot of belly fat from doing the throughout the COVID. The gyms went down by March 19th. The gyms went down. I remember that because, you know, I'm a trainer, right? Gyms closed. So heartbreaking. Miss my gyms. So what did I do? Start parlaying at home, binge eating on junk food, potato chips, watching Netflix all day. The first 2 weeks of the COVID after March 19th, that's what I was doing. Everything shut down. Then they had the McDonald's special. They had 2 for $2, where you get burrito and coffee. And I like my coffee light and sweet. I'm not a coffee drinker, but when I do have coffee, I like light and sweet with a lot of sugar, like 5, 6, 7 sugars. I did that for 2 weeks. From March 21st, I would like to say to like almost the ending of like March 30th, almost to April, to almost April Fools. In 2 weeks, I lost my 6-pack. I had a gut. It was bad. Even my wife was like, what the fuck happened? This here was like flubber. And that's not the first time that has happened to me, by the way. It has happened to me another time. So it was like the second worst time. The first worst time is when I was incarcerated and I was so depressed, I became an emotional eater. I was eating the honey buns. I'm like, oh my God, 8 more months. I gotta be locked up for me. Oh, babe, let me get another honey bun. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let me get more food, more bread, more sugar. Sugar's the enemy. So what I'm trying to say, with the McDonald's, all that sugar fucked me up. Now my diet stood the same, except with the exception that I started eating potato chips and eating more McDonald's, and the coffee. It was a 16-ounce coffee for $1, and the burrito was $1. I was eating that 3 times a week for those 2 weeks, maybe 4 times a week. It was bad. So 16-ounce coffee with 7 sugars in it. You know how much sugar is that? The daily allowance is 9 teaspoons for men and like 6 teaspoons for a woman. So if I remember correctly, it's 36 to 25 grams. For men, should 36 grams of sugar for the day. So for women, 25 grams of sugar for the day. So if you think for a person like me, you only allow 36 grams, 9 teaspoons. I'm already putting 7 grams of sugar in the first meal of the day, first thing in the morning at 7 a.m. or 9 a.m., right? You still got the whole day ahead of you. You got afternoon, and I eat 3 to 5 meals a day. Even if I have a yogurt, the ones I get got 11 grams of sugar. So imagine eating 2 of those. That's already 22 grams of sugar. Then you say you have another meal. You're going to easily go over the daily allowance. And what I'm trying to say is, a lot of people count the calories, and you should count calories. That's a must. But don't forget about the sugar, please. The sugar will fuck you up. Fuck me up. Bad. Okay? So here's the thing with the belly fat. What do you do when that happens? Eliminate the sugar, eliminate the processed foods, and expend more energy by doing cardio. Cardio is your must. So I could give you all the 6-pack workouts in the world. I could give you the planks, the side planks, the back extensions, crunches for the upper, basic knee tucks for lower abs. And you do this for 4 weeks and not see any results. I mean, you see results as far as building strength, but as far as like decreasing the actual body fat percentage, you need to be at a caloric deficit. What is a caloric deficit? Every person is allowed a daily amount of calories per day just to maintain your weight. And then if you want to lose weight, you minus that by 300 to 500 calories. That's called a caloric deficit, when you're 300 to 500 calories below your daily allowance. If you want to be in a caloric surplus, that's to gain weight, then same thing. You want to be within a 300 to 500 calorie surplus. That's to gain weight. Now, if you want to lose weight, you want to be 300 to 500 calories deficient below your normal calorie intake. And the normal calorie intake for men is, and for women, I'll tell you, depends on your height, your weight, the gender. A rough ballpark of this though, for a woman, is roughly 16 to 1800 calories. For male, 1800 to 2200 calories. But this is just a generalization. Remember, it goes by specifically by your height, age, and weight. So, how to find out your daily allowance of calories? Well, I'll tell you this much. There's a big scientific formula out there called basal metabolic rate. It's very difficult to do on your own. They have calculators you could factor it in, but I'll give you something easier than that. Just download the free app, MyFitnessPal. When you do MyFitnessPal, it's going to ask you to, enter your profile, basic information, your height, your weight. It's going to ask you for your current weight, and it's going to ask you for your goal weight. So if you just put your current weight, and also you put your goal weight, it's going to prescribe you the exact calories you need to help you lose and gain weight. So I would just simply follow that. Once it gives you the daily calories you need to intake, you make sure you don't go above or below that number. You make sure you hit that number. So for example, for myself, if I want to just maintain my weight, I'll type in my information in MyFitnessPal. I'll put in my name, first, last name. I'll put in my height. I'll put in 5'5.5". I'll put 5'5" or 5'6", right? Because they don't have the half there. Then my current weight, I haven't weighed myself. I'm usually about 137 to 140. Let's round it up to 140 pounds. I type in I'm 140 pounds. Let's say I want to lose 2 pounds. I want to get down to 138. So then it will tell me, okay, your daily calories to maintain your weight is 140. Is 2,300 calories per day just to maintain your weight. Now, if you want to lose 2 pounds in a week, you want to intake 2,000 calories. So I know every day for 7 days, I got to intake the 2,000 calories. By the end of the week, I'm going to see, if I stay within that caloric deficit, I'm going to see a drop. Not just in my body fat, but on the scale, 2 pounds. And that's without even doing any exercise, because I'm following the calorie intake. I know I'm monitoring the calories. You should monitor your calories like you monitor your finances. That's how you should do it. So if you got this bill for the month and it has to be paid, you make sure you're going to put that work in to get that money for that. Same thing with the calories. You gotta intake a certain amount of calories per day. You gotta put that work in. You gotta actually read back at the food label. That's the only way you're gonna know. You gotta make it a habit to read food labels. Now, it gets confusing with the proteins, the carbs, and the proteins. I get it. You know, you're not fitness training. If you want to live a long time and you want to see results, it requires work. And this is the work. This is the work that a lot of people neglect, that they do not want to do, because it's hard. It is hard. And also time-consuming, frustrating. You got to make it a positive habit, a positive mental attitude. Positive mental attitude. And you got to have a positive mindset about this, because you got to look at the benefit. You're going to associate this with pain or pleasure. I would look at it as pleasure. Look at it like this, guys, right? You're going to get more girls looking at you. You're going to live a long time. You got kids. You're going to be able to run with them, play with them. You got a wife. You're going to be able to satisfy your wife. You're going to look at you physically. Wow, you know, I love this person. I don't want to let go of their arm. You know what I mean? And vice versa for the woman, right? So, look at the benefits of just counting the calories. On another video, I'll show you how to count the calories for carbs, proteins, and fats, because it is a certain amount of percentage you want. And we go into a whole nother chapter on that. I'm going to change my location here, okay? Because they're doing a class over there and they're kind of loud. And I can't even hear myself talk. So we're going to move down a little bit. So remember, team, we got the planks, the back extensions, eliminate sugar, be in a caloric deficit. And the next thing that we did not mention is 30 minutes of cardio 5 days a week. Any form of cardio. It could be handball, football, baseball, basketball. It could be riding a bike, stationary bike. It could be playing basketball. Anything that's going to make you sweat. And when you do your cardio, you want to be sweating. You don't want to do a walk in the park and you're not sweating. If you do a walk in the park and you sweat, then hey, it was good. But you could gauge it from a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being easy, 5 being moderate, 10 being difficult. You want to do about an 8. 8 RPE. 8 RPE. RPE is the rate of perceived exertion. The way you perceive it and you rate it to the point where, okay, this is hard or this is easy. So for example, I could be doing jump rope. Jump rope is another great form of cardio. Or I can even run in place. But if I'm running in place for 30 minutes and I'm like not expending no energy, and then you come back, you complain to me 2 weeks later, hey trainer, I worked out, I did this stupid 30 minutes, and I ain't seen no fucking results. What happened? And then I look at the speed they're going, and they're going at the speed of a fucking turtle. Fuck is wrong with you? So, there's a scientific method called the Carbonian formula. Carbonian formula. You can Google it. It gets very scientific. I'll give you the simple math right now over the camera here. You want to get a heart rate monitor to monitor your heart rate. They got the ones, the Fitbit, goes around your wrist, right? The normal, like, beats per minute when you're at resting is like 60 to 80. So when you're active, this goes according to, like, again, your height, not your height, but mainly your age. Your age plays a part. So this is how we do it. It's going to get a little confusing, so try to bear with me. The Carbonian formula works like this. They take the max number 220 and they minus it by your age. Why do they take the max number? What number do they take? They take the max heart rate. 220 is the max heart rate. 220 minus your age. So keep it simpler terms. Pretend you're 20 years old. You take 220, you take the number 220, you minus it by your age. 220 minus 20 is what? 200. 200. So you're saying, trainer, what's this with this 220 thing? Why are you taking away 220? Can you believe I went to personal training school? No one asked that question. And when I asked the professor that, I asked him like a week late. He said, Joseph, I was wondering why no one even asked that. I said, I want to fucking know. Why you take 220? 220 is the max heart rate. You're born. as a baby in the fetus. That is your max heart rate. Every year for your birthday, what happens? You lose 1 heartbeat. Getting old, some scary shit, right? 220 minus your age. How old are you? Get a pen and paper, write this shit down. Hurry up, I'll wait for you. 220. Get a pen. Where's your pen? Get a pen, get a paper. 220 minus your age. Whatever that equals, that is your max heart rate. So I'm 37, pretend I'm 20. 220 minus 20. That's 200. Now, put that on the side. Watch me here. Next step. Scientific studies indicate, this is according to National Academy of Sports Medicine, NASM, NASM, yeah, NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine. They say, scientific study, 65% demand needs to be on your heart. 65% demand means stress. 65% stress on your heart. 65% demand or stress or resistance. So we got resistance, stress, or demand. All the same shit. What type of stress are you putting on your heart? The heart is the biggest muscle in your body. How much demand? At the lowest intensity, you want to be at 65% effort. The highest demand is at 85% demand. But you got to be careful with the 85% because you can overexert yourself. And also, the oxygen consumption you're doing at 85%, you may not be able to sustain the whole 30 minutes of doing 85%. So I don't recommend 85%. I only recommend 85% for like a few seconds, like if you're doing high intensity interval training. Now that's an advanced method. Let's stay with steady state training. That is easy method that works. Steady state training is when you do one pace for the whole 30 minutes. So here's my pace. This is steady state. I'm jogging in the boardwalk or the beach or in place. I'm running. So I did the math, right? 220 minus my age 20, 200. Right? I'm pretending I'm 20 years old. Then I'll take that number, 200, and multiply it by 65 and 85%. So 220 minus 20 is 200. I take that 200, multiply it by 65. Why 65%? Because, like I just mentioned, 65% is the studies that the scientists did, the Carbonin formula, of the amount of stress you could have put on the heart. Now, that's the stress you could put if you don't have no heart issues, no type of palpitations, no leaking valve. So you gotta get checked by your doctor, see how your heart is, okay? I don't wanna prescribe you something and you have some type of heart condition. So you wanna double check with your doctor here. But if you're healthy, you have no heart conditions, 65% and 85% demand you're gonna put on your heart, okay? 220 minus your age, multiply by 65 and 85. If you go over 85%, it's too much demand on your heart. If you're doing below 65%, too slow. You're going at the speed of a fucking turtle. You're doing your 30 minutes and you're wasting your fucking time. Don't waste your time, okay? Life is valuable. Your time is valuable. You want to do your cardio. You want to do it right. 220 minus your age. Multiply by 65%. Whatever the answer is, that's the starting intensity that you want to go. So I have my calculator on the phone. So let's pretend we do the math. I'm going to say it one more time. 220 minus your age, 20, equals 200 multiplied by 0.65. Let's pretend it gives me 116. I do 200 times 65%. Let's say it gives me 116. 116 means 116 beats per minute. So your heart, the beats per minute, every minute should be 116 beats. 1, 2, 3, 116 beats. That's going to expend a lot of calories. You're going to sweat a lot. You're going to lose a lot of body fat and you're going to lose weight. That's what the number's for. It's beats per minute. BPM. Letter B, PM. Beats per minute. Write it down. The fuck? Write that shit down. 65% do 30 minutes, 5 days a week. The 30 minutes you do 5 days a week has to be 5 days a week because NASM recommends 150 minutes in 1 week. So if you got 150 minutes of cardio, that's just cardio, not the resistance training, that's separate. 150 minutes. 150, buck 50. Woo! 150. So if you do the math, that comes out to 30 minutes 5 days a week. You can do it straight Monday to Friday. You can do it you can play with it however you want. Just make sure you do it and you within an intensity of 65 and 85% of your heart rate. That's not hard to do. 5 days. If you don't want to do the scientific Carbonin formula, then I highly recommend you do the rate of perceived exertion. Rate RPM, rate of perceived exertion. So you do it from a scale of 1 to 10, but you cannot cheat yourself. You got to be honest. You got to be diligent. So rate of perceived exertion. From 1 to 10, to me, this feels like a 1 or 2. I want hard. Now, it might feel like a 5 or 6 in the beginning. But if I'm doing that for 30 minutes, I might burn myself out. So you want to do it at moderate pace. I highly recommend you do, you walk around this whole shit right here. Pretend like you're in the yard, like you're up north, you locked up, and you go in the yard or you jogging around the yard. You can even go to the boardwalk, enjoy Mother Nature, go by the water. Just don't jump in it because there's fucking sharks coming out of nowhere now. Read that shit, a white shark in Long Island. Anyway, so be careful. Got your cardio. You're in a caloric deficit. You got your planks and your back extensions. Now, we still didn't do the upper and lower abs and the sides. But this video is long enough. So we're going to end it at that. You stay tuned. Leave a comment below on what video or information you want to know next about health and fitness. I am a celebrity fitness trainer. I am a physique specialist. I've done men's physique. I specialize in making your body look sexy and beautiful. Okay? Everything depends on the right type of demand you're putting on your body, the right type of overload, the right type of stress. I can't stress that enough. And you're being within a caloric deficient for weight loss or a caloric surplus for weight gain. Or if you want to maintain your weight, then you stay within the calorie allowance from the basal metabolic rate. And if you want to get ripped and cut, you let me know. We'll do another video. Peace out. Body fitness, y'all.